Hello everyone, my name is Vishal Singh and I'll be teaching you chess today. So in the previous class, we continued with defending by interposing and we'll be continuing that today as well. So let's begin with the class. I'll be sharing my screen now. Alright, okay, so here we are. So this is the last puzzle we did. I'll wrap it up really quickly. So in this case, we actually had no need to, interpose. We could have directly captured the enemy rook. By the way, we're playing as white and our rook is under attack by this rook here at a2. So we could have either captured it directly or escaped to any of the further blocks other than this block and this block. So uh, either that or we could or what we actually did, because this is defending by interposing, we played rook to c2 in order to defend this piece, and even if the capture does happen, it will be an equal exchange. So this was what this puzzle was about. Moving on to the next one now. Okay, so you're playing as white and pause the video right here. Think what is under attack. Think what you can do in order to evade, in order to avoid the attack, in order to safeguard your piece, and how you will do that. Okay. So now that you're back, we're playing as white, and the piece that is under attack would be your knight, and not only knight, actually your rook. So basically, the enemy bishop here at b7 is attacking your knight. The moment if you take this knight out of the way, you lose your rook. So it's either get your knight captured or get your rook captured. Out of the two possible situations, we definitely would want to give away our knight. Out of the two, that is why the knight is under the attack. Why? Knight is worth 3 points. The rook is worth 5 points. So it's better option to give away the knight. That is why knight is under attack. But if it was rook over here and a knight over here, then we would obviously move away the rook. But but this isn't the best case scenario. We can still protect this knight. How? There are two possible ways again. We cannot use the rook anyways. It will take a lot of moves to get there. We cannot use this knight itself because then our rook will get killed, and we do not want to lose 5 points for absolutely nothing. And we can utilize this knight over here to knight to e4, so that our bishop will be supporting the knight and we can escape. Or we can directly play bishop to e4, so that our knight will be supporting our bishop. It's the same thing, just other way around. But I would personally prefer bishop to e4. Why? Because then we will also be directly attacking the enemy bishop. So we can take out the enemy bishop, and we do no longer have an attack range over this white across this white boxes, and we are free to move our knight and our rook according to us, and not worry about whether we should move over here, what would the consequence be, and we can freely make our plan. So that would be a better option, obviously. So the answer to this situation is bishop to e4. Got it? Really simple. Moving on to the next one. Okay, so over here you're playing as white again. Pause the video, think which of your pieces under attack, and come back and see if our solutions do match. Okay, so you're playing as white, and the piece that is under attack, let's see, is this under attack? No, definitely not the king, otherwise you would see that red halo thing around the king like a threat. Definitely not the pawn. Neither are these pawn under the attack. The only thing that is under attack is this knight here at g1. But how? It's because of the bishop here at b6. So what can you do? You cannot utilize this pawns to save. We can bring this in between bishop to d4, but then it will get captured for nothing. So again, not a good idea, right? By the way, we cannot let our knight escape. Also, there are only 3 options where our knight can move, if you see carefully, and it's getting killed in all of them due to this bishop here. It's getting killed here at h3. The bishop can easily capture our knight. It's getting killed here at f3. Sorry, h3 and f3 because of the bishop, and again getting killed here at e2 because of their bishop. So escape is not an option. The only option we have is to interpose using a different piece. So what can we do? We cannot bring our bishop in because there is nothing supporting the bishop and it will get captured. So definitely not getting the bishop in between definitely not a good option. So we need a piece that can stay here and is being supported by something. So the pawn here at d3 can do that. It can move ahead and it will be supported by our bishop here at b2. So the correct answer to this would be pawn to d4. Now, even if the bishop tries to capture this, our bishop can capture the enemy bishop. So probably the enemy wouldn't even try to capture our pawn. So this is how we block the path. Our knight is safe, our bishop is safe, and so is our pawn. Got it? Quite simple. Okay, moving ahead. Okay. In this scenario, you are again playing as white. Okay, this is a little hard to see. Even I had to look twice or thrice. Okay, so pause the video. Think of a solution, see what is under attack, and come back and play the video then. Okay. So the piece that is under attack would be, let's see. This is the rook here at h1, definitely not under attack. The rook here at d1, definitely not under attack. And there's nothing attacking the knight as well, right? So not under attack. The only piece that is under attack would be the bishop. How? The enemy rook here at f8 is attacking our bishop. So let's see if it has an escape. It does have an escape here, but we're trying to protect it using interposing. So what can we do? We cannot move this pawn like this unless there is something over here. So pawns only move in a straight line. Remember, if they're not attacking, they only move in a straight line. Bringing in the rook here would again take a lot of time. So the only option we have left is to utilize our knight. The knight can move to f4. Why won't the knight be captured by the rook? You might be wondering why can't the rook just capture our knight? Well, it can capture, but it won't. Why? Because our knight will then be protected by the pawn here at g3. So if our opponent is logical, he probably won't capture our knight because he wouldn't like to give away 5 points in exchange for 3 points, right? So this is the correct answer to this puzzle. It's quite simple. Knight to g4. Remember this. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so in this puzzle again you are playing as white. Okay, pause the video, see, look which of your pieces under attack, and then come back and play the video. Okay, so in this video again there isn't actual need to interpose. We can easily do the, okay, first of all you're playing as white and the piece that is under attack is your bishop. Not only your bishop, your rook as well, because your bishop is actually pinned. If you move your bishop away, your rook will be taken out, and we do not want that. Okay. So in this particular situation, there is no need to interpose. We can directly capture the bishop, and the enemy pawn will then capture a bishop. So this would be a fair trade. But if you have a further plan regarding your bishop, you want to save it for further things, you can save your bishop by playing pawn to d4. By doing this simple move, we blocked the path of the enemy bishop. So our bishop is saved, our rook is saved as well, and so is our pawn. Why? Because the enemy won't waste away his 3 points for a pawn. Quite simple. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, all right. So again, here, pause the video, look which of your pieces is under attack, and then come back. This is a little hard to catch. It's not actually hard. The piece that is under attack is not valued a lot actually. So come back and see if our solutions do match. Okay, let's see. Is the bishop is not under attack? Definitely not under attack by anything. We can see the pawns are well protected. The king is inside the defense, so it is protected as well. The rook is protected as well because pawns do not attack in a straight line, correct? And sideways. So the rook is okay, it's safe. The pawn over here is not protected. What is attacking it? The enemy rook, obviously. So what can you do? He is trying to attack this because once the pawn reaches at the top, it has a clear path, it will become a queen. So the rook the enemy rook is trying to avoid that by eliminating this right now at the given moment. What we can do to save this pawn is quite simple. We can use this rook and move it to b6. You might be wondering why. If the enemy rook can just capture our rook. Well, yeah, he can, but then our bishop is supporting the rook. So even if he does capture, the exchange will be equal. It will be a fair trade and okay to give away our rook if the exchange is fair. You will lose 5 points, the enemy will lose 5 points as well. Okay, and then you have a clear path for your pawn to reach at b8 and become a queen. Or if you do not want to give away your rook, what you can do is play bishop to b6. That would work absolutely fine also. Not a problem. But then you cannot move your rook. Once you move your rook, your bishop will be taken out immediately. That would be a problem. Okay, so that is why I would prefer rook to b6. Got it? Quite simple. Okay, so that was all for today. I hope you guys had fun. You guys learned something. And I'll see you in the next class. Bye-bye.